down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
What's going on, Savvy investors? Yep. This is your friend, Steve VanCauwenbergh. You tuned in to the Savvy Podcast or the Savvy Radio Show, or the time for you to wake up and smell I don't know about the roses, but life. So I'm rushing to it's fascinating. Well, first of all, let's talk about the subject today is what I learned in Rockford, Illinois. Fascinating. There's a lot of things I learned. This is unscripted, so this will be all my podcasts are pretty much unscripted. I may have a fake outline, but I'm just making this stuff up as I roll. So grace is important on this one because I just need to get this podcast out. Because last time I went somewhere, I was like, I'm going to talk about it, and I didn't, and then I forgot about it, and then years click by. It's fascinating. But anyway, let's just talk about this. So I went to Illinois in this place called Rockford, just outside of Chicago. Pretty legit place. Appreciate it. And as my way in, I was like, man, there's a lot of cars on the road. This is about 7 o'clock. To the office, to the studio, whatever you want to call it. And, man, people are driving crazy, weaving in and out, bumper to bumper. I'm like, I'm not used to driving around when other folks are driving around. Like, I'm driving around looking at property in neighborhoods when everybody's at work, working the 9 to 5 for somebody else's dream, someone else's goal. And I was like, wow. And then I realized, listening to Les Brown, 87% of people hate their job. So I just had this weird moment as I'm driving into the studio today. All these people are trying to, I barely got on the freeway, and they're cutting each other off, pissed off, angry, and then they roll to their job. It's been so long since I've been involved in society. And that brings into Rockford, Illinois. The interesting thing, out of thousands of people that live there, we had about 14 people at the Savvy Boot Camp. Now, let me tell you something. The Savvy Boot Camp, it's not, I'm nobody. I got a few fans out there, and I do have some friends. I appreciate it. But, I mean, I'm not some household name, But the fact, and what is a household name? Because Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, it's just cool just even saying that dude's name along my name. Has sold 36 million books, has made more millionaires than anything in the world, and people don't even know him. And you could buy that book used for $3. You could get it at the library. So being a celebrity or not, being a celebrity is acting a fool in my mind. But anyway, I'm in the studio, but, I think about it, thousands of people on the freeway trying to kill each other, going nowhere, working for a job 87% of people hate. For what? And then I'm in Illinois just pouring my heart out to 14 people. That's the difference. Those 14 people are going to be wealthy. I knew one girl in there is going to be a millionaire. She was so motivated, and she already had 6 houses and had it just blew my mind. So why did I do it? Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to scale up the Savvy Investors and Enterprise. So I'm trying to make this a brand of sorts. So if you have any interest at all, you want to be a part of the team, we're hiring people right now for Savvy Investors. We're looking for some key people to propel and help and be a part of a mission and a dream of yourself to be better. And if you have an interest, just message me on Facebook. You can call me, go to the savvylandlord.book.com or Savvy Podcast. Anyway, so why did I do the boot camp? Well, I did the boot camp to just kind of go organic, grassroots, and just go to the people. People have all these seminars out there to try to sell you more stuff, or come to my $200 boot camp or $500, and I'm going to sell you the $10,000 class. Nope. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go to people. I'm going to ask one person in that market to ask 10 friends to come for $500, and that will pay for our venue, my hotel, the plane ticket, and just grow. And I got so much out of it, and I poured myself into it. So the classes that I gave out were personally profiling, property managing, and a whole new material, how to scale your business, my fave, technology, in private money. And then we just put it all together. The great thing is the connection of the community. It was amazing that private money, just people willing, after a few glasses of wine and some pasta, people were just forthright in saying, hey, I would work with you if you got a deal, and these are kind of my terms. And so that was Friday night. We just kind of hung out. We did an icebreaker game, and we just sat and just hung out and just talked. Phenomenal. All my closest friends are from events like that. And so what did I learn? Oh, man. I learned that not all markets are the same, meaning that in Oklahoma, I've been here for 20 years, crushing it in real estate, and I'm thinking this is the best place on earth. That's not necessarily the case. There was deals there that were so like I couldn't believe them. From you can purchase a property for $15,000. You can't here in Oklahoma City, but you can put about 10 in it, 15 in it max. You got 30 in it total, and you can make $1,000 a month all day, every day. And I was like, what in the world? Now, the only drawback is that their taxes are a little bit higher. They're about 3.5%, but it just still makes sense. You're working for the government, but it just works. I thought that was very interesting. What else? Man, there's got to be more than I learned. I found out that most people are the same. Like the same type of investors are all over the place. And what most investors need is help, accountability, relationships, partnerships. And so it was just interesting that we all feel like we're on an island, or we all feel like we're in a competitive state where, oh, I can't share my deal with you because you're going to steal it, or you're going to know how much money I make. I didn't see that up there at all. I saw a lot more folks that were really just wanting to be successful in whatever they wanted to do. And that may be make another $1 million, or make another $10,000 a year, or just be financially free, which is very interesting. And so I asked some folks at the end of the night on Friday night, I was like, hey, let's write out some goals, and so we can kind of connect on them on Saturday. And so I wrote down all the goals that people had, and one was to cycle their portfolio, meaning getting out of the ghetto properties. And there was also some really good properties for like $50,000. You put in about 5 and you can rent that out for 11. I saw some of those. I saw about 10 properties. I saw the quality construction, all the same. And it just reminds me of being in Florida when I had an asset there, where drywall is the same. Human beings are the same. It's just the cost of the rent is the variable, which it costs the same drywall that it does in Oklahoma City, and maybe a little bit more there in Illinois, barely. And the work is the same labor and cost, but you could make more money. I mean, that's just fascinating stuff. But the one fear that a couple of folks want, how do you recycle your portfolio? Meaning, how do you scale from buying ghetto cribs to getting into other properties? And what you got to do is that you got to be active on it. I was hanging out with an investor yesterday, just a superstar investor, just came full-time job and just has built a multi-million-dollar portfolio. He said, you just need to be active. And I was like, that's the problem. Every day you got to work on it every day, even when you don't want to. And I know this is my full-time gig, so it's just a natural thing. But what I realized, because some of the people there had to make sacrifices to come to this deal, they have jobs, they have commitments, they got support. I mean, you've got to just be conscious of what you're trying to do. You can't get to the next level by just, hey, I bought a bunch of properties, I'm cash flowing a couple $1,000s a month, but I don't like the headache. How do I cycle my portfolio? You got to be active on it. You've got to learn the new ratios that you need if you're going to buy $100,000 properties. And then you got to figure out the same way you got those ghetto cribs. It might be so easy and crumbs on the table that the new properties that you're cycling into may be harder to obtain, that you might have to have different relationships. You might have different relationships with banks. But here's the deal. You got to figure it out, ask someone that's doing it, and start working on it every day. Thought that was interesting. Another question or comment or goal that someone popped up was have a mastermind. And see, I just wrote this stuff down. I never elaborated on it like, yo, this is what I would do. But dude, you got a mastermind right here. We just kickstarted the mastermind. There's 14 solid people here. Now, a rule of thumb on a mastermind, you only really need about 5. Okay. And the mastermind that you have, they need to be completely contributing into your life, meaning you can't be the smartest one in the room or that one in the expert. You do need to have a mastermind, but one could be a master technology guy, and one could be a money person, and one could be a legal person, one could be an accountant, and then you're each helping each other achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve. And it's to scale them into, but not to be like, I'm a real estate investor, you're a real estate investor, let's be a mastermind. That's not helping each other grow. I mean, yeah, it's helping each other with accountability. You could do that with anybody. Write out your goals and say, hey, let's hang out. No, that's not how it is. A real mastermind is someone is in a specific experience, expertise in an area that you're lacking in, that he could help you grow your business, or she can help you grow your business. Or they're a devil's advocate in another arena that can push you to that level. So I think when people throw out the word mastermind, it makes sense, man. We're all in the need of community. I think God created us to be in a desire to have a yearning for someone to connect with. You need to be the same, but you do need to set up a mastermind, try to find one. If not, just hang out and get together. One question that a goal that someone had was, how do I make my rehabs quicker? They're going into 60 days. I'm like, dude, you got to get down into 30 days. Now, a lot of it could be you need to hire a project manager, or you're overworked, or you don't have the right contractor, or you're not holding people to accountable. Things are not written down that says this is done at this time. So doopy-doo, we need to get it at this. And this is what happens. This is the disciplinary action if we don't get it done in time. So again, I would work on that 10 minutes a day. How do I get my rehabs better? How do I get my rehabs faster? Are you wasting a lot of time driving to the store to pick up material, or can you have it delivered? So you've got to just read the Atomic Habits book. If you go to this Be Savvy boot camp, I talk about it. But that's if you want to scale your business or really increase something, you got to look at every area of your life and or business. There's a story in that book, Atomic Habits. I think his name's James Clear, where this cycling team wanted to win the Tour de France or something like that. And they just micromanaged every inch of the bike, all the way down to dust being on it, or when they transported the bicycle in the van, they made sure the van was spotless. They didn't leave anything uncovered or touched. So that's what you need to do with your business. First of all, listen to the audiobook, Atomic Habits, or you can go to besavvybootcamp.com and you could see my rant about it, and apply those principles to your real estate business, to your rehab business. All right. Another one, dream or goal or whatever, was to automate your business. Don't we all want to automate our business? But are you making the steps towards that? Who in your market is automating your business? My business is automated. This is why I'm able to be on the podcast. So what area, and what I normally do, again, micro, small, back to the Atomic Habits, everything's going to point back to that. Work on one thing. So my homeboy right now is a baller, and he's got an eBay store that's crushing it. Drop ship makes sense. So he's got product on there, someone orders it, and then what happens? He has to fulfill the order by connecting eBay to himself, and then taking the money and then logging in as a merchant to the supplier, and then drop shipping it. That just sounds good. It's easy labor. But let's just take it one step further. Let's connect eBay to your automated distribution location, or you're the person that's supplying the product, that they communicate to each other, and that you just get dings. You just get emails. Bing, you sold something on eBay, and then bing, something has been drop shipped and you never touch it. That's how you scale. That's how you become a multimillionaire, and that's how you automate stuff. So I have an answering service, let's say, and that's how you automate phone calls. And then when the call comes in, and you can, on Monday, you can tell your answering service, or we show property Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. These are our current properties. They're on our website. We show them all. You can automate anything. And if you don't have skill in that, ask somebody, or even just, I would love for you to email me or Facebook me and say, hey, man, I want to automate this, and let's collaborate, and I'll try to help you. Another goal someone said was, hey, how do I write a book? Well, do it. That's how you do it. It's not hard, but I used to get that question all the time. And it kind of threw me off in the middle of Chicago. Someone's asking me, how do I write a book? Well, you get out Google Drive, or you get out a recorder and you start speaking what's on your mind, and then you hire a really good 10 times better, 100 times better person, $50 an hour, to help you write and articulate your idea, your notes, and that's the start of writing your book. You need to do it. Another one is, how do I become a speaker? Why does people want to do this? What you need to do is get this awesome audiobook I'm listening to right now on Audible from Les Brown. It's his audio collection, and it's so phenomenal. It's epic. It's talking about how to be a speaker. Never heard about it, but it's it's like 8 hours long, $30, I think. You can get it cheaper if you're a member of Audible, but Les Brown sits down and starts telling you, how do you become a speaker? So if you don't know Les Brown, it's a white cover with green lettering. It's Les Brown's, all of his hits or whatever, all of his recordings. And just start speaking. Tell people I'm a speaker. Start creating a flyer. I don't know. I just started doing it. Then that's the success of life. I want something. You just go do it. Are you hungry? You should go get a piece of fruit. If you whatever the case may be, if you want to get married, approach a female. She's just not, or a male. It's just not going to happen, right? Same thing. Another one is, I want to have passive 10,000 and 20,000. It's so funny. I hear everybody say 10,000. I was pretty stoked a month passive income. I noticed that I always hear the $10,000 mark. What's so special about 10,000? I mean, it's a good amount of money. And, my mentor taught me, he's like, Steven, it's hard, bro, when you get to $1,000 a month passive. It gets real hard when you get to 15. Man, when you get to 2,000, you kind of feel like you're going somewhere. When you get to 5,000, man, you on to something. But when you get to 10,000 a month passive, it's a joke. It just scales. It gets big fast. And I know this for a fact. That's you. So just set something, even if you got to set something with a passive $100 a month, take inventory. Where are you in your world, and what's passive? What money's coming to you without you being there? Obviously, you're tuned into the Savvy Radio Show, so it's got to be real estate. How many units do you have right now that are truly passive? And you got to take off property management and take off maintenance and blah 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 and vacancy, and that is your passive number. Another goal that I heard was, I want to retire my wife, I want to retire my spouse. Do it. Get her involved. Teach her how to arbitrage on Fiverr. Teach her how to make money, or teach him how to not, figure out how to scale. That should be your number one goal. Life, you're going to die relatively quickly, so you might as well hang out with your wife, or have, 5 years ago was when I retired my wife. I can't believe it. We could have did it within a little bit earlier, but I was just testing my wife, see if she was going to be faithful to the end. My wife's faithful. I mean, and when she asked me, and this may sound to some of you ladies out there, this sounds like a punk move. My wife's like, Steven, when could I quit my job? And I said, well, at any time, pretty much. But if we can hold on for one more year, it would give us another W-2 year, and I'll just borrow money like crazy while you have a job, because it's easy to borrow money when you have a W-2. So I went ballistic her last year, and then racked up all this debt of And then she quit, and see, there's no problem. See, it's not that you can't quit your job, or you should, but you got to be strategic about it. You can't just say, I'm going to retire my wife, and then as soon as you start making an extra $2,000 a month, and that's what your wife takes home, it may not be economically smart at that time. But yes, you should do it. Yes, you should live to the life to the fullest. Yes, you should be a full-time investor of sorts, or a hustler, or a full-time entrepreneur. I love this little 19-year-old kid I hang out with. This dude juices me up every day. Every day I try to hire him. Yo, I mean, can you work for me? I'll pay you $3,000 a month. Man, I don't want a job. I just get so excited because he says I don't want a job. I beat this kid up so much never to get a job. He just never wants to get a job. He never wants to be complacent. Now, he's got some issues where he be dancing around like not getting shit done. I'd be like, dude, get stuff done. Because he's jumping on stuff because he found a little success. He's got a little business and it's successful. But I'm like, take that business and automate that business. Take that business and scale that business where you're making $5,000 a month, and then you can hire somebody. Okay, I don't know. We got off on a tangent on wives. All right, another dude said improve my neighborhood. I don't know how to do that. I know one dude that has done that. A couple people, but Thomas Morgan has done that. He's improved an area. A guy that I know has documented pretty heavily is Al Williamson. Go to his website called Leading Landlord, or just Google up Al Williamson. He's all over Bigger Pockets, celebrity in my mind, superstar friend. And someone said something about cash flow, and I was like, oh, okay, that's the name of the game, homie. And so I was like, we need to stop focusing on how many units you have, because it just sounds sexy. Oh, VanCauwenbergh's got 100 units. That means whack. You can have 100 units and be broke. I actually coached somebody at one time that came to me that was working their tail off. They had 37 units. They were a millionaire on paper, but one small swoop and go under. He had 37 units and he was making no money. That does not, you've got to make money. You can't just have a business and run around and do your business and it doesn't yield you money. You got to add stuff in there. You got to be prepared to add someone to replace you. Or another guy that had 70 properties and was behind on taxes, and he was robbing Peter to pay Paul. If you listen to the Les Brown stuff, you kind of get slapped in the face on the robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now, I've been there for at least 4 to 5 years of my career as a 20-year entrepreneur, real estate investor. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul until I started stepping up and hiring better people. And, my general manager was like, we can't operate at this level. And so you got to push yourself. It's about cash flow. You need to, my homeboy the other day got a shirt that says cash flow, and cash flow is king. It's on Amazon. Ask me for it. He just sent me the link. I'll forward it on to you. Always be thinking about cash flow, not be thinking about how many units. I used to chase the units, but I need to be chasing the cash flow. And that cash flow can be coming from a social media business. That cash flow can be coming from multiple businesses. It's cash flow. Cash flow pays the bills. Units don't pay the bills. Market changes. You can get swooped up on a tidal wave of false depreciation and all kinds of stuff. Another dude said he wanted to be a millionaire. You can be. Another dude said he wanted to own a farm. I don't know why. It sounds like labor. Leave the farm into automation. Another one said bring your family on. I don't know about bringing my family on. I love my daughter's 10. She's hustling right now. I love it. She's like going door to door, knocking on people's doors. Would you like to buy a bracelet? And I just let people just buy stuff. No, if you have my daughter, no, I bought one bracelet. And that was it. No more. Don't ask me for another bracelet, sister. But I love my daughter said the other day, Daddy, can you teach me business? Ooh, Daddy, can you teach me business? It's almost like my homeboy Octavius. Savvy, can you teach me? Yes, I can. When you ask it like that, I will teach you. Just ask. Now, bringing your family on, just quantify them. Actually vet them out like you would anyone else, and just be cautious because it gets kind of hurtful when you got to fire somebody that didn't do the job. You should always hire the best person for the job, nothing less. And then another one was time management. Man, there's so much time management books out there. David Allen is a great time management book. It's a classic, sold several million. So those are the questions I received on Friday night, and then we just crushed it all day Saturday. If you have any interest in the Savvy Bootcamp, I'm going to do one in Chattanooga, August 23rd. It's going to be epic. Similar material. I'm going to change it up a little bit. And then I'm going to do all new material in Oklahoma City. So nobody that comes to Oklahoma City, it's going to be crushed out material. I'm writing all kinds of stuff like the mindset of a serial investor. I'm going to walk you through harder technology to really automate stuff. And we're going to grow as real estate investors. I would love to have you there. SavvyBootcamp.com. Again, if you are interested in going and growing or making money as a business owner, I'm looking for key people to help me scale Savvy. If you have any ideas, I had an awesome friend the other day, and I appreciate this dude. He's like, yo, I can't find your private money course it wasn't even on my store. And that's why I need someone in my life that has an interest in running a business. I need someone to help me run Savvy, because I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on writing content. I'm focusing on building relationships. I'm focusing on speaking. And I need someone to help me with the managerial stuff. If that's you, and you catch the vision and you want to get paid or build an equity in a company, this is your boy. Reach out to me, Stephen VanCauwenbergh. And no matter what you do, if you work for somebody, always be buying assets.
What is the Savvy Bootcamp? Are you struggling to get to the next level as a business owner, as an investor? Do you want to multiply your income? Sign up for the Savvy Bootcamp, a strategic and supercharged one-night and one-day event designed to shortcut your learning process and propel you forward. Just value, no upsells, and an intimate setting to build relationships with like-minded investors. We will be covering how personality profiling can make you a millionaire, outsourcing and the nitty-gritty of maximizing your property management, scaling your business through systems and automation, technology hacks you should be using every day, and how to raise private money. Go to www.savvybootcamp.com now to register or to find out more.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter @LandlordBook and always be buying assets.